Shirley Myers with the New York Croquet Club, and this video is intended to show you how to set up and take down the croquet courts. It is intended for new members and also for any of you that would like a refresher. At the end of this video, you will understand how to set up and take down the courts and where the equipment is stored. First thing we'll do is set up the wickets on the court. Grab some wickets, and you'll notice the wickets have different colored tops, and they go in a particular position on the court. And to know which position they are placed, you can view the wicket placement diagram that's inside of the box. So, wicket number 1 is a blue top, as you can see on the diagram. Wicket number 5 is a red top, and wicket number 4 is a white top. So we're going to go out and install these 3 wickets first. I'm going to grab the hammer that's in the bucket, and we'll proceed to find the first set of wicket holes. The wicket holes are marked with an orange chalk so that they're easy to find. We're now going to set the first wicket, which is the blue top, and you'll notice there's some orange chalk on the ground next to the wicket holes. That's so we can find them easily on the court. So put the wicket in the holes, gently push it in, make sure that it is straight up and down, and then you take a wide stance to pound in the wicket. You don't want a narrow stance because if you were to miss the wicket, you could break your kneecap. So I put the wicket in by pounding on either side, and now we have a wicket that's properly placed. Okay. We're now installing the last wicket, and as you can see, there's the orange chalk on the side, wide stance each side. And now the last thing we'll do is put the center peg in. Find the hole marked with the orange chalk, and you can just gently put it in. We never hammer the top of the peg. We put it in with our hands. When you've completed play and you're ready to remove the wickets, sometimes you can lift them with your hand, but frequently they are in the ground so tightly you need to use the wicket puller, the super lifter. The way to do that is to put it through the wicket. Make sure that the stand is not on top of either of the wicket feet. Bring the lever back through, place it under the hoop, and then pull it up. And there you go. Now we're going to lay down the boundary line. And we have the reel of string, and in the bucket you've got the stakes to hold the boundary line at the corners, the hammer in case you need it to pound the stake in, and a claw bar for stake removal. Okay. The string takes 6 different stakes, and the first stake is attached to the string, which I'll show you in a minute. I like to put the 5 stakes in first, then I come back, get the roll, and lay down the boundary line. We're now ready to place the first stake, and the way to find the position for the first stake is to find the boundary line marker on each corner. There's an orange one on each side. You just figure out the intersection of the 2 lines, and that is where the stake goes. And as you'll notice, more often than not, we do have the orange chalk marking the location. Now we'll go to the next stake. Again, you see the orange stakes in the gutters. You draw the lines out, find the intersection, and again, you see the orange chalk. Put another stake in this location. Now we'll go to the center line. When setting up 2 courts, we have a shared center boundary line. And in this gutter, you'll once again see the orange stake. So find the orange stake, come out, we'll see the orange chalk, and you can place another stake here. Once again, we have the orange marker in the gutter and the orange chalk marking the line. Place the initial peg stake in the ground, but don't push it down the whole way. You'll see why later. We always start rolling the string down the center of the courts when we have shared courts. there's a gray handhold in the middle of the orange string, and you can hold that, and the string rolls beautifully and smoothly out until you get to the next stake. I think.
Good.
We are now ready to wrap the boundary line string around the first stake. So pull it as tight as you can, and then wrap it once, wrap it twice, aim it towards the next stake, take your foot and pound it in so that the string doesn't move. Now that we've wrapped the string around the center stake, we will go to the closest corner. I generally go past the stake, lay the reel down so I have plenty of room to work with the string. Once again, pull it as tight as you can, wrap it the second time, and step on it with your foot. Now we're headed to the next one. Occasionally, when we are putting the stakes into the ground is a little bit hard. So in that case, you need to use the hammer and just pound it in gently. Okay, off to the last stake. Okay, we're ready to wrap the string around the last stake. Since we had pushed this stake in earlier, we used the little claw bar to pick it up slightly. Pull the string very tightly, wrap it, and push it in. Then you don't want anyone to trip over this as they're playing, so we make sure we have extra string unwound. We lay it on the grass, and we leave the small claw bar with the spool so we can use it to remove the stakes when it's time to take the court down. Grab the flags out of the storage box and proceed to the first corner. Corner number 1, you will place a blue flag. And you will know where to place the flags because when you look at the peg, you'll see the order of play, the blue, red, black, and yellow. So the first corner will have the blue flag. You place the flag on a diagonal about 2 to 4 inches from the stake. And then proceed to the next flag, which will be the red flag. Once again, place the flag 2 to 4 inches from the stake at a diagonal, and it is corner number 2, which will be the red flag. Now we'll proceed to corner number 3 and the black flag. So for court number 1, we place the black flag once again diagonal to the court it applies to, 2 to 4 inches away in the ground. Then for court number 2, this particular location is corner number 2, and we place the red flag on a diagonal 2 to 4 inches from the stake. And lastly, we are placing the yellow flag at a diagonal for court number 1, and we're placing the blue flag at a diagonal for court number 2. And as with the court number 1, we'll have the black flag in corner number 3 and the yellow flag in corner number 4. Now we're going to tear down the court. We've removed all of the wickets and put them in the cabinet, and the next step is to remove the flag. Now that we have removed all of the wickets and the flags, it's time to pull up the string. I like to use this little claw bar and go around the court and pull out all of the pins first. Once all of the pins are removed, you pick up the spool, holding it by the gray handle again, and I just start it by hand to start with. And then you just very simply roll the string onto the spool. But the most important part at this point is that you roll it tightly onto the spool. If it's not tight, it will have loops and knots, and it's very difficult to unroll the next time you play croquet. But all you have to do is just stand here, make sure there's a little tension on the string, and roll it up until you've completed all of the string. And the last thing on the string will be the one pin that is permanently connected. Okay, we've now taken down the corks and we're ready to put everything away. First, we'll put away the deadness board. There's two little stops that hold all of the deadness boards right here. Then we'll grab the corner flags and the center peg, and they fit nicely right in front of the deadness boards. Next, we'll grab the bucket that has the hammers and the boundary line stakes and put it right in here. Then we have the mallets, and the mallets fit best in the box if you put them on their ends. Now we're ready to replace the items that go in the standing cabinet. We have the balls and the Wicket super lifter. The lifter goes on the bottom shelf, and the balls all line up right here to the left, and the clips go on these little ledges in the cabinet. And the last thing we have are the wickets. The wickets, we keep them separated by set, and they just go on these nice holders.
Go.
This serves as a brief introduction to setting up the courts. Now you know how to lay the string, set up the wickets, the corner flags, the pegs, and most importantly, how to take down the string properly and put the equipment back in their proper spots for all of us to enjoy the use of the croquet lawns in Central Park. Thank you for watching.